I wanted to tell a story, and this is about 40 years ago, the day I met the water witch. I was doing a psychic fair in Long Island, and on the marquee of the mall, it said the psychic fair today, this week, and it said the water witch was appearing today. And I said, well, I never heard of a water witch, I told everybody. So all of a sudden I see this guy, and all these people lined up waiting for the water witch. And I see this guy who had kind of like what they call camouflage type of uniform. It looked like they dropped them off out of a helicopter or something. And he said, do I have any volunteers? And I raised my hand. And he said that he had this long carpet that was maybe 60 feet long, the size of 2 rooms. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He put these 2 L rods in my hands that were made from like coat hangers. And he said, just hold them out straight and walk. And he said, just think of a wire. I said, what do you mean think of a wire? He said, just think of a wire. So I was thinking of a wire, and I was just walking straight ahead. And all of a sudden, the rods turned to the right and left. My left hand one went to the left, and my right hand one went to the right. And he said, now back up. And then I backed up, and they straightened out again. When I walked forward, they went to the sides again. And I said, well, what is this? And he picked up the carpet in front of everybody, and there was a little wire under the carpet that wasn't connected to anything. And I never saw this before or anything like it. And I found that he was a famous dowser that was on the news, and he did things on dowsing and rods, and he would find water on people's property and so forth and so on, or lost rings or whatever the case was. And he did this for a living, and he wrote books on it. Everybody knew this guy. And I said to him, he said, you could do that. And I said, well, how do you do it? How do you charge these people? He said, well, I charge them according to the car in the driveway. If there's a Volkswagen, I go light. If there's a Cadillac or Lincoln, I go heavy. Those were the days that there weren't that many foreign cars. And he said, it usually takes me 5 minutes. He said, but I have the owner of the property help me. I tell him to put stakes in the ground here and stakes in there, and I draw charts and this and that. And I said, well, why do you do all of that? He said, well, if it takes me 2 minutes, they don't want to pay me anything, so I put on a big show for them. And you charge according to the car in the driveway. So from that I learned, don't have an expensive car in the driveway, have a jalopy.